Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra Ihessie. I would like to first say a huge thank you to those of you that have seen my previous video and also subscribed to my channel. I mean, if you're still yet to subscribe, please do it now. There is a red tag down below that says subscribe. Please just click on it like right now. Alright, thank you very much. I would like to sit down here today and tell you guys how I have this whole YouTube live thing sorted out and how my plans and goals are so precise and specific and concise and everything. But the truth is this: I don't yet, right? But I decided not to really sit down and think about every little step, every single step before starting this YouTube journey, because I felt like I was always going to find loopholes as to why I don't even start. So you know what? I said to myself, just go for it. Along the line, you will learn and learn, figure things out, and then make changes where changes need to be made. And I also want to sit down here and tell you how I won't be swayed by trends because I'm focused on my goals. But I do understand that if you're using a certain platform, you have to give room for some sort of flexibility because you want to be acknowledged and you want to also blossom in that space because you're using the platform. So you have to also give the audience what they want to see. Wow, it's so interesting using the word audience. But if you're watching it, then you're an audience, like, I guess. Well, but I'm trying not to focus so much on the thoughts that are not so positive, but they're there, and it's important for me to also acknowledge them, so that way when I do feel like I'm going in a direction that I had not intended on going, I am aware. And speaking of all of this actually brings me to my topic of today, which is the act of transparency / how far can the truth take you. I couldn't choose a particular topic heading per se because I do feel like those two are conflicting. We live in a world whereby people tell you it's okay for you to be honest, it's okay for you to tell the truth, be transparent but transparent, let people know what's going in, allow people, give access to people, like let them know what's happening emotionally and mentally. But at the same time, the world also tells you fake it till you make it. And fake it till you make it is a very it's very vague. If we have to dissect it, that means like a lot of things. Well, let's just take it on a general understanding of things. Fake it till you make it. Oftentimes people want to engage and people want to invest in lives or channels or just businesses that seem successful and businesses that are successful, because it's like, oh, this person seems established, they seem easier, they seem well accomplished, they seem noticeable in their space, hence it's easier for us to plug in to them compared to a new business, compared to a small business, compared to a growing business, because this person seems to have a little bit of stress because they're just starting. So it brings me to the question of like, when should you be honest, or when should you put on the facade and pretend to be something that you're not, or maybe not yet. Because it's like, okay, be this certain way sometimes and be the other way other times. So it's like, when is the right time to be a certain way? And I began to ask myself that question. I clearly ask myself a lot of questions. I mean, if I don't ask myself, who else am I going to ask? Who is going to ask me? And I asked myself, Sandra, you as a person, what is important to you? Is it being transparent, or is it putting on a mask, painting a certain picture to the world? And I began to realize that for me, the most important thing is being authentic. I feel like authenticity is such an essential part of a person's growth and a person's self-identity, because when you're authentic, it means you're being true to yourself. It means you're living in your own truth. It means you're functioning in your own truth. It means the world is not going to define to you what is acceptable in a certain space and what isn't. And when I speak about authenticity, I don't necessarily mean being your real self. And this might sound really weird, because I know when people say they're being their real self, it simply means they're not really putting effort into becoming better. So I always like to think of it as being the best version of myself. And I like to use this example of late coming and people that are just zero time conscious, because I feel like I really you know, I do well in that space, right? So I like to use that example. Anyways, so imagine your real self is a person that is constantly late, missing out on opportunities, late for interviews, late for class, late for submission of assignment. That's your real self. And you deem that as your real self because it's something you keep doing over a period of time. How about choosing to be the best version of yourself? And the best version of yourself is when you can do things that enhance your growth, right? And for me, when I speak about authenticity, I'm speaking about being the best version of myself. And you know, I feel like being authentic has really given me so much courage and boldness, because I can walk into a room and not really care so much what people think, because I know that in that moment, in that space, I'm being true to myself. Even in job interviews, for example, when I go for job interviews, I initially, well, I guess it was also because I was growing in that space. When I would go for job interviews, I would be very anxious and nervous and just like, oh my goodness, what do I say? Do I lie? Do I tell the truth? Should I be too open? Should I pretend to be so prestigious? You know, I begin to question myself and I don't know how to act in that space. But the moment I realized that the best thing you can do for yourself is to be authentic, life just became easier. I would go for a job interview, understand that these people that are interviewing me are also human beings with flaws, with shortcomings, and also of course with successes as well. And I also have my shortcomings, I have my flaws, and I also have my successes. So I'm going in there knowing that we are all equal as human beings. And right now I don't need to put on a facade to be someone else or lie or or overly expose myself just to feel accepted. I go there feeling confident, knowing that I'm going to be the true and best version of myself. Think about it. Sometimes you go for an interview and they ask you how computer literate, or what's your level of computer literacy, and you go, darling, I'm so good at this, like, bro, I'm a pro. That time you don't even know how to use the Excel, right? Or you go for an interview and they ask you what's your level of computer literacy, and you go, I've never used the computer before actually. Right. And I'm not going to sit down here and tell you what the best answer in that setting should be, because truly that would just be telling you what I would do as being authentically Sandra. You know the answer and you know what it means for you to be your authentic self and your true self. And if it means in that space putting on some sort of facade just so you can fit in, or if it means blatantly being transparent, I don't know if I can use that word in that statement, but you get the point, right? But it depends on you and what being authentic means to yourself. So I can't really sit down here and tell you how to act in certain scenarios, because that would just be me telling you how to live your life, and that is taken away from the whole concept of being authentically true and best. Okay, a few reasons why I do believe being authentic is such an essential part of a person's existence. I do believe in energy. I do believe we communicate through energy, whether you're conscious of it or not. And this is why I speak about when I walk into a room, the energy that I come in with is so true. It's so, and I want to use the word pure, that oftentimes I'll be put in positions where on paper might not seem like I'm deserving of being there, but that's because I am being in myself, and people feed off that energy. I give up the vibes of trustworthiness. I give up the vibes of being a prestigious person. I give up the vibe of being someone with great caliber and someone that is credible, because that's the energy that I give, and that's because I am walking in my authentic and best self. Another reason why I do feel like being your authentic self is an essential is because when you're authentic, people see in you what they see in themselves, but they are unable. If I say unable, it makes it seem like they have some sort of disability, but they haven't gotten to the point of where they are willing or strong enough to express that part of themselves rather. So when you're authentic to yourself, people just gravitate towards you, because there is just something about you that they know is also in them, but are yet to still express. I remember sometime, I think in December, a friend had gone out for some like just enjoyment time and we had met a few people, and we were dancing. That night I was dancing. I was just having the best time of my life, man. Like, it didn't matter, like I was just there to have fun. And I remember we had met like a few people, and this man says to me that I think because his French, so English was a second language, but in essence, what he was trying to say was almost like I'm his spirit animal. You know, that person in him that he knows is there, but he doesn't know how to let it out. And when he saw me, he was just so happy to see someone live that life that he desires to live, and that was what drew him towards me. That's a different story. Right. Imagine being that person in a different space aside from like clubbing or dancing or whatever, which is great in its own sphere. But imagine being that person in a workspace. Imagine being that person at a meeting. Imagine being that person in a gathering of people where you're trying to promote your business and where you're trying to sell yourself. It becomes easier for people to gravitate towards you because they can see something in you that they know they have within themselves. So it makes you relatable, and I think that's the word. People like when they can relate to a person. They feel like, okay, she gets it. You know, right now I might not be able to express myself, but she gets it and she's doing it. And I also want to add this: the very thing you suppress is the same thing that will set you free. You know, oftentimes I always say to people that I don't know, for some reason I believe that, which is, I think it's true anyway, we are more than what we know we are. You know, certain people have gotten to that level of their life where they are so interconnected with themselves, and they know that, yes, I am this person, I am also this person, I can be this person. And I feel like for me, in as much as I would say in as much as I show the traditionally feminine characteristics, there's a part of me that is very masculine. There's a part of me that likes to dominate. There's a part of me that is very I don't use the word strong because it seems like being feminine means you're not strong, but just allow me to use the word strong. Very strong, bold, controlling, you know, and those are beautiful traits in itself. But then it's almost like I don't know how to work them, I don't know how to express them, you know, and I keep suppressing it, you know. But I do believe that the moment I let that part of me out, there is a new world out there for me to express. So I just thought I would add that it's actually like a phrase I saw somewhere that says the things you suppress are actually the things that will set you free. A few reasons. Speaking of setting yourself free, there is nothing better than being free. Oh my goodness. I speak about freedom all the time because I hate being constrained. I hate being restricted. I think this is not so great, but I don't like being answerable to anyone. Cringe. But I love being free. But when I speak about freedom, keep in mind that there are boundaries in freedom. You know, freedom doesn't necessarily mean walk all to the edge, then tilt over and fall. No, it means in the space in which you can function and be safe in, explore it to the fullest. You know, and you won't explore life to the fullest if you're still thinking of what people will say about you. You know, like, do I put on this mask that I am this when I'm actually like this? I don't know what that means. You know, you can't be really, really free from the core of your soul if you're still questioning and trying to understand how to be when you can just be. You know, just being means when you're authentic. But when you're thinking of how to be, it means you're still questioning if you should be transparent or if you should put on that facade. You know, being authentic liberates you. It gives you the freedom to break free from all of the social norms. You don't have to conform. You know, when you're authentic, you're just living life to the fullest. You know, I always hear people say I'm living my best life. And I remember saying to my friend that, you know, in as much as I jump into the whole thing of like, living my best life, for me, living my best life is when I am being true to myself. I really don't have lots of friends. I really don't like engaging with people because I never want to put myself in a position where I feel constrained and just, I feel like I have to be someone else and have conversations that do not interest me. That's when I know that I'm not living my best life, regardless of where we are, regardless of the destination, the sport, the people that I'm hanging out with, regardless of their social status. But if I feel like I'm in a place whereby I have to check myself and see if I'm doing okay, sitting pretty, then I know that I'm not free, and I know that I'm not being my authentic self, and I know that I am not living my best. Alright, I'd like to think this video is quite short, but I'm not sure. But before we go, I would like to leave everyone with a quote, a beautiful one I think, that summarizes everything I said today. It goes, everything will line up perfectly when knowing and living the truth becomes more important than looking good. I mean, Ellen Cohen couldn't have said it any better, really. Because imagine a life where you're just constantly questioning your action, everything you say, what people think. Like, oh, that's just so stressful, you know. So please do let me know what you think about this video. I mean, share your thoughts. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Do you feel like we should be our authentic self at all time, or do you feel like we should sometimes put on the facade? And do you think we should be overly transparent? Do you think there is such a thing as overly transparent? And do you think maybe being transparent can give room for people to disrespect you and disregard whatever you say because she's always talking a lot? So tell me what you think in the comment section, and please do not forget to like this video and share, and also subscribe if you're still yet to subscribe. And until next time, take care.